Alright, and welcome back. I'm sitting here, we're on the hunt here at the auto shop. We're looking for an engine block for our B10. Right there, it's got the Porsche block. That's what we're looking for. We're going to be sitting here, starting with putting the engine together here. I feel like we're going to be missing a decent amount of parts. Oh, for some reason the V10 takes the i4 power steering pump. Alright, we gotta go back in and buy a couple parts then. I was grossly misled by my own self. Performance, so I need the i4B. Along with going to the regular oil shop. Get ourselves a V10 water pump feller. And this is right after I had recorded that previous first entry video. We're starting to put together the V10 here on, or for the Audi, rather. Not on the Audi, because it's on the engine crane. But we're putting it together. We're missing a bunch of parts here. Bunch of parts. So water pump pulley for the... I was right next to the water pumps and I decided to go halfway across the existence. That's always solid. Water pump pulley for the V10. We need 2 air filter bases and an oil filter for the V10. So oil filter, it's in alphabetical order. We're here somewhere. I-L, oh, haha. Buy 2. Just because I like to buy more than one. And air filter base, V10, V10. 2 of you. I got the air filters already. Put that water pump pulley on here. Get the oil filter screwed on. And get the bases together. We've got our high-end fuel filter. I don't actually know what the difference between a high-end versus this one. I assume it's fuel flow rate, which obviously would help getting more fuel. Oh, and we're out of piston rings. So we're going back into the shop. There's going to be a lot of hopping into the shop, but I try and keep a decent amount of everything stocked up so I don't have to keep popping back in here. So, 20 piston rings. I'll have 10 left over once I am done putting this bugger together. I'll keep putting in the pistons. That's just our little goal here. Getting the pistons. I'm a big fan of Audi, by the way, and I've been kind of sort of watching or getting into the Formula E group. I'm a big fan of F1. As you guys may or may not know from a couple of my other videos, I am a huge Aston Martin fan, all the way back to Jordan. Same, just Team Silverstone in general. But I would say Audi is probably my favorite overall car company. And I was very impressed with Luke Degrassi's move and Audi's thought process behind that. But at the same time, that was a bit cheeky that they were going to try that. So, I guess, but good on him for giving it a shot, even though he got black flagged. I thought that was fairly creative. Did I buy... Oh no, I think I bought 2 A's and not a B. That's exactly what I did. I just spent $3 grand on an engine head that I didn't even need. Okay. Engine head A. Oh, engine head A for the V10. Oh, I just spent $6 grand on 2 that I didn't need. If I happen to come across one of those cars, I've got them. That's alright. Ooh, I really want the more horsepower though. So, this Audi is going to be a car that I keep, which is why I'm fitting it with a lot of the performance parts. But some of the other cars that I don't plan on keeping, I'll just fit with regular old basic parts. And I do kind of like this odd tentacle-like all 5-to-1 manifold. I kept wanting to say muffler, but I knew that was not the right word. I was like, muffler, muff. Get that throttle body attached. We're gonna get those fuel rails installed. I love this chrome engine with the red accents. I feel like I might paint my Audi red when I get it. And this is really the only car of mine that you guys have seen. As you can see, the frame is in pretty abysmal shape. Let me just keep going down the line because it ticks all of them in just a hair. But this is really the only car that you guys have seen of mine. In real life, I do drive a Lincoln, which is why I'm a bit ashamed to not know that was a Lincoln over there. But at the same time, when there's a 70-year difference between your car and that, maybe don't feel so ashamed. But that is all right. We got one camshaft cat. All right, engine's done. Solid. We're good. We did it, boys. We're out here. Put this right in the Audi. It's gonna start right up. And I think I had one extra spark plug, or I forgot to install one, and I sure forgot to install one. We gotta buy 2 cam gear A's now, and a couple of timing chains, as far as I'm aware. We're gonna go to the timing parts, and then we'll go to the camshaft parts right after this. So we need our timing chain, looking for a Porsche logo, right there. 2 timing chains. And camshaft stuff is what we're looking. Cam gears, cam caps. The V12, not the V6. I'll buy 20 of these little buggers. I'm going to be using a good portion of them regardless. So, might as well get to using them. Cam gear B, V10. I think I need 2 of those. I'll buy 2 of them just in case. If not, you know my motto, I've got a spare. Cam gear A, V10. Buy 2 of those as well. Just gonna be jumping around part to part here and there. Install that cam gear A. Install cam gear B. Cam gear A again. Timing chain. Cam gear. Do I have any of these shoes? I don't. Let's get these engine heads put on. Or the head covers is what I mean. So I gotta put the cam caps on. Once I get all the cam caps on, we should be able to plop the engine head covers on. And once we get the whole front end of this put together, back with a lot of the rollers and the timing and everything, we should be able to plop this buddy boy in the car and fire it up. Just to give it a little test. Engine head cover B. Nope. Alright. I forgot I got this Audi from the junkyard, if you couldn't tell. And it only came with a gearbox, and it came with the engine block, the crank, and the pistons. There was none of this top end stuff when I got the car. And I've got a Porsche it's a 911, but it's a 964 sitting in that's one of the cars I've got sitting, and it's pretty much in the same situation as this. It's got the flat 6, but it's got the flat 6, but it doesn't have, it's just the block, the intake manifold, and the crank and the pistons. Is all the whole engine is. Looking for the engine head covers for the Porsche V10. Head cover B, so A will be slightly up here for the V10. And I'm gonna miss some things, but I know it's roughly in alphabetical order, so it's alright. Timing shoes for the V10. I believe we need 4 of these. I think that's all. I think that's all I needed. I'm so excited to fire this thing up. I'll start being able to put the ignition coils in. And we can really plop this boy in the car. This monstrous V10. I'm a big fan of V10s. I'm a fan of the oddball engines. I mean, while the V10's not really an oddball, it also kind of is at the same time. I'm a big fan of V10s and the, what are they called? I6s, the inline 6. And while those aren't really oddball engines, it could be an i3 or an i5 or hell, even an i7. But just in general, I mean, those are typically you see the 4-bangers, the V6s, the V8s, and then a lot of people know Ferrari's staple V12s. So it's not necessarily an oddball engine, like the kind of odd cylinder straights, like the 3 or the 5, but I've got a weird passion for these. We just need to pop the timing cover back on. We're going to be able to start putting a lot of these serpentine stuff back together. And I just happen to still be down here in the timing parts. Nice. This engine's pretty much, or this is pretty much going to be just putting the engine together here on the V10 and then plopping it in the Audi. Hopefully getting her fired up for the end. Gotta get the serpentine belts. Serpentine belt A. A on the V10. V10. And we need B on the V10 as well. That's kind of an odd configuration, but I assume a belt tensioner or something, yeah, a roller goes there. It's like I assume something goes there, and I assume on the bottom there probably a belt tensioner attaches. Oh, it doesn't. That's interesting. I don't think I've seen the engine that's done that. Okay, so the top end of the engine's together. I gotta put a lot of those rod caps back in, and we'll do that. So I got the engine flipped on its side here now, as I'm going to start installing these rod caps. Once I get the rod caps back together, I can put the engine, or I could put the oil pan back on, and I could put the engine straight back in the car. But that's all. We're just getting this put together. We're going to pop a lot, or the new brakes on the Alpine. That's the plan, and I know I gotta do some tests on that Lincoln i6. And that Merc has already had all the tests done to it. Just whenever that Alpine rolls out of the shop, the Merc will be the next one up on the lifter. And that Bentley's gonna need, as I just mentioned, some testing done to it. So we'll see. We'll see. And got that on here. That on there. And that on there. That should be the final one. We should be able to see the oil pan. Yep. Alright. Gotta buy one though. I always thought this was odd because of how flat it is on the bottom. but I also kind of assume that's for packaging purposes, that it fits into the car lower and nicer. And yeah. But I don't really know how that works. Clutch cover. It did come with the gearbox, so I do have the clutch cover, and I did have a repaired clutch. But now, we're going to go to the engine stand, pop it off. It gets put in a crate somewhere, out of existence. This is going to go to lifter 1. We're going to put the engine right there, you know, in the frunk. Install the engine. We got ourselves a V10 dual overhead cam. Put the engine crane back where it was. And she's in there. I'm going to put my air filters in. And I need 2 covers, and that will attach it to the throttle bodies there. And we're going to have a working engine now that we got the engine in the car. Air filter cover for the V10. 2 of those. And I believe this guy that made the mod made a special like body panel that goes over the top inside the engine bay here that is used as a like it covers up the Porsche and it puts in like the Audi is what he does / did. I think. I mean, a lot of the guys do it. That's what was on the Alpine there. It had the V6 logo, so obviously the Alpine had a V6 versus the flat 6 that's in the car, the Boxer. And we're just looking for... I actually forgot what we're looking for. Oh, ABS module, so right at the top. $700. I bought this Audi for, I believe it was $21,000 from the thing, and it is currently already worth just engine, no gearbox. We've got the ABS, the battery, and like that in it. No fuel pump, nothing. Just the way it is, it's worth $58,000. So just refitting the V10 alone, I've doubled the value of the car. Trying to see, there we go. I was trying to see if I could get a hold on that radiator up there, because the radiator, when they put them up front there, opposite the engine, obviously, Audi's a mid-engine, it makes it pretty hard to get your hands on up front, because you have to get it from the engine bay. But you gotta get it all the way up front here. So now we're gonna reinstall the fans. And now she's ready to go up. She's ready to go up. I got that. I'm gonna install the gearbox, the fuel pump, and that once I'm done here at the Alpine. Oh, rear engined. And drop the gearbox on this. And this pretty much just needs gearbox repairs. It's gonna take apart the whole gearbox, and I assume probably the flywheel is my missing piece. But you just take that apart. It's an easy swap. That flywheel is definitely broken. I'm gonna put the flywheel back on. Brand new clutch plate. Brand new pressure. Well, what's their limitation? 59%. So I'm gonna take that. They're gonna get a used pressure plate, but higher than their threshold. And new release bearing. Do I have a spare one of these, or can I fix this gearbox at all? I'm not quite sure. Nope. Gotta buy a new gearbox. Gotta buy a new gearbox. So that's my rules. Once I I popped that Audi back up, it went from the down to the up, up, down, left, right. But once it does that, it just does. I pop this back on, or once it's up, I switch cars and I start working on this, and I'm popping parts back on the Alpine now. Is what I was trying to say there. But if we got that, we got the rear drive axle installed. It's gonna need a new brake disc, and it looks like I'm gonna need to order a couple more as well. And I don't know which one of these had the bad calipers versus the good. So it'll be alright. And I gotta see, does this have thicker rear tires? 255s to 325s. Sure does. It's got thick ones on the rear. See, like that, how it almost messed the star pattern up. That's another example of what I mean. I'm not trying to do that, but if it happens, it happens. But oh well. So we're doing that, and then we're gonna have to repair the body on this car as well, after we kind of get this more together. So I'm just finishing up this Alpine's rear end. I got that whole brand new brakes on the rear done. Gearbox is back installed. The drive axles are installed. It's just a matter of putting these back together up here on the front. It's not going to be too bad. New caliper. Put the old cylinder back in. And these should get their new tires back on. And I'll switch the Merc and the Alpine, if I can. If I may be so bold. Because I'm going to put the Lincoln on the test path. And I'll switch them around. We're going to replace the body panels on this Alpine, and we're going to see how much this job pays. Because I think it'll pay us decently. Gearbox work is kind of expensive. Brake work is not so much, but I'm doing a full refresh on all four corners. And body work is fairly expensive. So all the suspension is done. I just got to put the ABS module back together inside of the... I got to put that back together inside of the engine bay. But that works. We're going to move this guy over there. We're playing musical chairs with cars. The Merc's got a bunch of suspension problems. I haven't actually had a chance to look underneath it yet. And I don't actually know what's wrong with this car. It looks all put together. So I don't know. I gotta reinstall the starter, and I'm by 3 ABS modules. It's a brand new starter. Well, not brand new starter, but the original starter that was in this car. And brand new ABS module. So my brake job's done. So what is it? Front bumper, front window, right body window, left body window, front left door window. That would be why I can't really tell. So it's front left door window, front left body window, front right body window, and front bumper. That's what we're looking to do. I'm going to get those parts pulled up. I need the front left door window, the left body window, the front window. And it was the right side body window, wherever that one is. There it is. And I need a front bumper. So front, window, 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 and I think that's all. We're gonna get this. I don't have a paint shop yet. That's another one of the things I'm working towards on getting towards level 30. I can get a paint shop so he doesn't have to go home with his unpainted bumper. I can spray match it to the car, and he can be a little happy camper here. But I think that's all. 12 grand. Oh, engine cover's missing. Pop open the hood. And this is what I was talking about on the Audi that does exist. So you get the engine cover. It says the V6 turbo. Makes it look like it's actually a Renault Alpine, whereas it's got the flat 6 underneath. And I think they did that more for the exhaust note. And makes roughly about the same amount of power as the V6 would. Because it makes about 343 from the V6 twin turbo, but it looks like you can swap just about any motor into this car. So that's interesting. I think that'd be a fun thing to own one of these Alpines in the game and swap like a W12 into it. We put that Wyoming front thing back on it, license plate, send him on his way. And that's gonna do it for today, guys. That's episode 2. We got that Renault Alpine put together. We got the full brand new motor in the Audi. That's slowly coming together. We got the Lincoln sitting on the test path. We got the Merc just barely up in the air, off the ground. And so we did some work today. We got some highs. We're getting stuff done. Nothing too hard, nothing too complicated. But thank you very much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. I appreciate all the time. Make sure to leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this, what I need to improve, what I got to do, what you'd like to see, some stuff you'd like to discuss, stuff you want me to comment about, and just let me know. I appreciate all your time. Peace.